师。
Let's pay homage to the lineage
了
gurus.
明和尚。
Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming.
萨迦正空上师。
Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong.
16世大宝法王卡玛巴。
Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa.
福登大举上师。
And homage to Master
我
Dubden
们
Dorji.
坛城三宝。
Homage to the three jewels of the altar.
敬礼今天同修的本尊。
Homage to the main deity of the group practice
西方
today.
极乐世界。
Amitabha Buddha of Sukhavati, the Western realm of utmost bliss. And homage to his attendants, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. 师母，丹增嘎措，图登悉地。
各位上师。
All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do?
你好，大家好。愛してる。사랑해。Hola amigo。Te quiero mucho。すごい。一番。気持ちいい。Jumi。Yapi。プリンプリン。こんばんは。今天我们是修阿弥陀佛的法。那我从那个
We had the good practice of Amitabha Buddha.
的时候，我就做这个千烧法船的超度，每天晚上。
Sorry, I cannot hear anything.
到3点
You have some technical problem.
的半夜2点到3点，这段时间是我修千烧法船的超度的时间。那已经做了，从开始到现在差不多快要接近快3年。
这个也没有声音哎。
没有一天停止过。
How about YouTube?
没有一天停止过。
Try your YouTube.
刚刚在修法当中
During the practice earlier.
我不知道是谁。总之呢，他拿一个盘子，上面放着几样点心，然后坐在法座上面。在修法的时候他把这个点心拿来，说要请我吃，请我吃。我一想。我现在是坐在法座上。
So I was seated on the Dharma
大家
throne.
都没有东西吃，你端给我。
I apologize.
然后我就
There's
跟
no
他
sound
讲，以后在没有人的时候，你再端给我，而且我在法座上哪里能够吃什么东西？就给他回绝了一下，这个就消失掉了。今天就是 有这样奇异的事端一个盘子，里面放了很多我喜欢吃的东西，所以还好。在修法的过程当中，我没有流口水。那么我们今天就修这个阿弥陀佛。
So today we
它是我
practice
每天
Amitabha
晚
Buddha.
上在千烧法船里面要念的。
It's something that I need to chant every night during the
我经常这样子念，你听我念。
And I often
这
chant this.
千烧法船将开往西方极乐世界阿弥陀佛的净土。
The thousands of Dharma vessels should sail toward the
以阿弥
western
陀佛、观
realm
世
of
音菩
Atmos
萨、
bliss.
大势至菩萨
Amitabha Buddha,
为
Avalokitesvara,
三位居
and
孤主。
Mastamaprapta as the Trinity.
西方极乐世界是不退转的，也就是说，你到了西方极乐世界，就不会在六道轮回。
So, the Pure Land is non-returning,
净
which
土有
means once you get to the Pure Land, you will not
常
digress.
寂光土、
There are 4 levels of the
十
Pure
报
Land.
庄严土、
The Pure Land of eternal
方便
serene
有离
light,
土、凡圣同居
the
土，
magnificent land of proper real
在那
reward,
里
and
有
the
罗、阁、
Pure Land.
亭、台，有七宝行处，
出来了 OK
有八功德水，
Sorry for that. That was
是
technical
优
difficulty.
胜美地，非常
So there are.
快乐的
It's
地方，
a
没有
place
痛苦。
with utmost bliss and no suffering at all.
在那里的修行，
So
有
spiritual cultivation
37
there.
道品。
There are the 37 factors, enlightening
你如
factors.
果在那里精进，能够
If
修持的
you
话，
practice
将来
diligently
个
there,
个成佛。
that in the future, each one of them will attain
所以我
Buddhahood.
是千烧法船这个超度的
So, for the Buddha deliverance on the thousands of Dharma
主
vessels,
持人，那么希望
I
所有的
am
众生
the main
都能得到
presider,
西方极乐
and I
世界
wish for all
阿
sentient
弥陀
beings
佛的净土。
to go to the Pure
然后
Land of Amitabha Buddha
请
Sukhavati.
瑶池金母、
And I also
普陀金刚、
pray to
摇
Golden
他的
Mother,
力气，
the Tiger Head Vajra, and I would
现在
sway
勒令
her
千
banner,
烧法船
and I would command the 1,000 vessels
即刻开航，
to sail
就
immediately.
出发了。
So they all sail off.
然后我就念
And then I would chant,
南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。我就一直念佛，然后 有念莲花这个莲花生大士的心咒。
I also chant the heart mantra of Guru Padmasambhava.
Om Ahom Pada Guru Padmasiti Hom. 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 然后我再念往生咒。
And then I chant the Deliverance Mantra or Rebirth Mantra.
文殊菩萨
And then I also chant the Deliverance Mantra of Manjusri Bodhisattva. And then I chant the Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha Buddha. And many other mantras to send off these Dharma vessels. I do it every night. And I have done this spiritual deliverance for over 2 years. And it'll be 3 years if I continue.
这个就是我秉着莲花童子的这个精神。
So by the spirit of Padma Kumara,
所有的众生往生佛国净土。
I deliver all sentient beings to the Pure Land and Buddha Land.
阿弥陀佛的法。
And today we practice Amitabha Buddha Dharma.
所以难免呢，这个因为晚上的睡眠不是很够。
Because I lack sleep, I don't sleep enough every night now. Because probably at most I sleep at 3 a.m. and I sleep about 5 hours, and that's not enough. So that's why sometimes in the daytime, when I have a chance to close my eyes, it is inevitable. I sleep so easily. I can sleep sitting up, and moreover, if I lie down, let alone lying down. I don't need to count the sheep. But by chanting to be reborn in the Pure Land, transcending life and death, Namo Amitabha, the Golden Mother, please take charge. As by the time I recite that, I'm already gone. So I do it every night. The little Guangdong lady recited the Padma Kumara poems during the Tang Dynasty. Can you memorize it? Oh, you can't. You have to. You have to look. It's a children rhyme. Did you compile them?
就是有一位师兄他发给我，我收藏起来，然后我就自己做成一个 PPT 的形式放出来了。
And then I created a PowerPoint slides and then showed them. So once she chanted the 10 poems of Padma Kumara, is to wish all sentient beings to go to Pure Land. When is Labor Day? I mean Mother's Day. Tomorrow. So I would like to wish all mothers 3 flowers. This is a Chinese homophone. So flowers also means spending in Chinese, which means that you have money to spend, limitless money to spend, and always beautiful like the flowers. Going home today is Mother's Day. So I hold my mom's hand strolling on the road, and I could feel some callus on her hand, and I felt quite moved and touched. So I asked her, so how did you get this callus? And she answered very lightly, it's no big deal. It's from playing mahjong. Happy Mother's Day. Now we'll move to the main topic. Oh, perhaps the microphone is rubbing against the clothes. From my disciple in Taiwan.
它上面写作，他其实他有写他的名字，但是后面有一个括弧，请勿公开姓名。
That person wrote the name, but then in parentheses, please don't say it. So, okay, if it's secret.
弟子在拜读你的渡过生死大海的。
As I'm reading your book, Crossing the Ocean of Birth and Death, on an article on the caring for the dying, you wrote that at the dying moments, one's consciousness receives guiding through light from Grandmaster, and their 7 orifices except the apex are closed off using light. Then one's soul or consciousness can leave the body only through the opening at the top of the head. But there is a master who has his apex open already and said that he can enter the body of the dying person and bring him out of the body to the Pure Land. Is that so? I don't quite understand. Could you please clarify? So at the moment of death, we can apply the guiding through light, which is opening the gate to heaven and then closing off the opening to hells and human and ghosts and other realms. And then would bless the dying person to close off the orifices of the eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and the navel,
这个密轮关起来
and the sacral
两个密轮全部关起来
chakras, both of them, both of the sacral chakras,
的
chakra
开天
sacral
门
openings.
闭地腹塞人道主滚路
So opening the gate to
那灵
heaven
魂呢，它
and
自
then
然
closing
从这个
off
中
all the
脉
other holes
向
or
上，
orifices.
用命
And the
气
soul
用
will
你全身的
naturally
气，
rise.
把你的命
And
气
then you
就是
use
灵魂
all
元
your
神
qi or
从
vital
顶下
energy
送出去，
and to send off your soul
可
or
以到天
consciousness
道
from
跟
the
四圣
opening
道
at the top of your head. And then you can go to the heavenly realms and
啊，
the
这
four
是
sagely
光
realms.
阴圈释法的方法。
And that's the
你修
method
到本
through
身相应
the
的时候，把本身放
guidance,
在指头上面，
guiding of the consciousness
然
using
后
light.
指那个尸
So
体
you
的指
place
头
the
放光，
light
把那
on the
个
tip of your finger, and the finger can emit light.
人道、鬼道跟其他的六道
So
全部
all
轰住，
doors to
其他
the
五道轰
other
住，剩
five
下天
rebirth
道跟四
paths,
圣道，
only the heavenly
就是
path and the four
是这个方
sagely
法。
realms
那么这个
are open. So the
上师
gate to
更
the
厉害，
heavenly and the four sagely
他
realms
能
are open.
够进到
But
这
this
个
master is
临
more
终者，
remarkable because he claimed that he could
他可以进去
or he
临
can
终者内，
enter
有位开典的上师
inside the
跟他们
body
讲，
of the dying
他可以
person
进去临终者，将他们牵出来送到净土。
and then
他不太
bring
明白，
them out of the body and take them to the Pure Land
那除非
or
是
send them off to the Pure Land.
打坐。密教里面有这个事
If
情，
you meditate
他本身打坐，
in Tantric Buddhism, such things
这个
exist.
法呢，我记得在马尔巴上师那里，
As I remember at
马
the
尔巴上师啊，
Guru
白教的祖
Marbar
师马尔巴上师那里，
lineage guru
那个叫做
in
夺舍法，
Kakyupa,
叫夺
it is
舍法。
called the Transference of
什么叫夺舍
Consciousness.
法呢？
And what is this Dharma practice called Transference of Consciousness?
马尔巴上师这个法目前来讲，到底还在不在？有人讲说已
Whether
经
this
失传，
Dharma practice still exists or not,
有说在，
it is debatable.
有些讲不在。
Some people said that it's already
什么是
lost, and
夺
some
舍
people
法？
said that it's
就
still
是
being
这个人
taught
在
or
静坐，
transmitted.
这个
So
上
the
师在
transference
静
of
坐，
consciousness is when the
他的
guru
灵
is
魂出窍
meditating
出去，
and his soul travels out of
他不
body
想回来是回来了啦。
and he does not want to return to
去
his
的话，
body.
有一个 baby 刚刚出生，
And there's a baby that's just being
他
born
想要转世在这个 baby
and
的
he wants
这个 baby 的
to
身上，
be reborn
这个 baby 就
in this
成为
baby's
他
body
自己，
and the
他
baby
进
would
到那个
become
baby
him.
里面，
So
把
he would
原来这
enter
个
into
baby
that
里面的
baby
灵魂给他赶出去，
and to chase
夺
away
他的这个
the original
爪
soul of that baby
他自己住进
and
去，
then took the
这个
body
baby
or
就
the
变成
house
这个上司。
and then lives in that body. So
这
the
个
baby
方法叫
becomes
夺
that
舍法。
master. So this is called transference of
所以马尔
consciousness.
巴的时候有一个故事是这样子的：
So there was a story
马尔巴在森林里面
during
静坐，
Guru
有这个猎人
Marbar's time.
打
He
中了
was
一只
meditating in a
鹿，
forest and
打中
a
了一只鹿。
hunter shot a
这个鹿
deer
就受伤了，
and the deer
倒
was
下来，
injured
刚好打在这个
and
马尔巴面
fell
前。
right in front of Marba.
这时候马尔巴一时呢，他把他的灵魂出窍，
So immediately
进入到这个
Marba
鹿里面。
Mahaprabhu's soul left his body and entered into the deer. So the deer stood up. Why did it happen? Because Guru Mahaprabhu could master this transference of consciousness. So he could leave his body and enter into the deer. So the deer stood up. Because the hunters came after the deer and wanted to take the deer away. But Mahaprabhu said, this deer is mine. And they said, we shot the arrow and the deer was dead. It's ours. How could it be yours? And Mahaprabhu told them, you said that the deer is dead, but I said, no, he's alive. If the deer is alive, then he's mine. If the deer is dead, then it's yours. And the hunter said, but clearly the deer is dead. So Guru Mahaprabhu meditated. His soul left his body and entered into the deer. And the deer stood up and he yawned and made sound. So the hunters admitted their loss because the deer was alive. So he got a huge deer meal that night, a venison meal. This is called the Dharma practice of transference of consciousness. I remember there's a Dharma practice that when his soul leaves his body, it's not from the apex, but from the right nostril and entered the left nostril of the deer. And the deer came back alive. And after the hunters left, his soul left from the right nostril and entered the Mahaprabhu's left nostril into Mahaprabhu's body. That's the rule. Out from the right nostril and entered the left nostril of the deer, and then left the right nostril of the deer and entered into the left nostril of Mahaprabhu. So it makes a shape of 8. So how the soul leaves the body. So there's a rule. Don't mix it up. I know there is such a method. So as for this master, if he knows this method, and so he can send the dying person to Pure Land. Otherwise, he's just bluffing. Just boasting. Because this transference of consciousness, to enter into the body of the baby, you have to leave your body from the right nostril and enter into the left nostril of the baby to abandon your own shell. Only this will work. Then you can be reborn. If you think that your house is broken, like Grandmaster is already 78. Confucius died or passed away at 73, and Grandmaster now is 78 according to Taiwanese calendar. So Confucius is an old man, and Grandmaster would be an old man, right? In the future, I will change my body. If someone bring a small 1-year-old baby, and I feel that this living in this body is not bad and he has good destiny, I can use the transference of consciousness to chase away the true master of that body to find another body. It's not that he died, but I just changed my body and come again. Now, do you understand? This is the transference of consciousness. So only by having this practice of transference of consciousness, it's very easy to leave your body, to have your soul leave your body and come back. Grandmaster can emanate many bodies. When you read book number 290, about the deliverance of the thousands of Dharma vessels, and you can read about many people who can see Grandmaster's emanations. The lion head from England is able to see Grandmaster's Dharmakaya, and also someone in Seattle, or people in Seattle, I'd rather not say their names. They can see Grandmaster's Dharma bodies and also feel it. In Taiwan, Singapore, and many countries, many disciples can see Grandmaster's Dharmakaya, Dharma body. That's called emanation body. And then I can go everywhere to help them. And of course, talking about this master, he can leave the body and enter the body and can go, but not just one. Seng Yen Lu is not just one. Many Seng Yen Lus. There are many. Can you raise your hand if you have seen Grandmaster's emanation body? If you're willing to? Who? Why didn't you raise your hand higher? The Madam of the Ambassador, Judy, has seen Grandmaster's Dharmakaya, Dharma body. You raise your hand too? From Malaysia? Have you seen Grandmaster's Dharmakaya or in the dream? Oh, there are many more who have seen Grandmaster's emanations, but you can feel them in the daytime too. Many of them. Anybody else?
Sakura, 莲英，还有谁？
Sakura, anybody else?
其他人不敢举手。
The other people don't want to raise their hands, but I know there are
我知道
many.
就很多。
There are many.
好啦，所以修到能够灵魂出窍，
So if
能
you
够进到人家的身体
practice
里面，把人家
until
的
you
元神
can, your soul
给它
can
送到
leave your
净土，
body,
是也很
and
了不起。
then you can go into somebody's body
是
and
有这
send
样子
them
的
to
事，
Pure Land. That would be incredible. But
是有这
such
样子的。
thing does occur,
好，那第二个问
does
题，
exist.
香港莲花新
Now
兰
on
问
to the second question from
师
Hong
尊：
Kong, Lian
我
Hoa
不
Xin
想
Lan.
活在这个世上，受尽身心
Grandmaster,
痛
I
苦的
don't
折
want
磨
to。 live in this world to
我希望
continue
能
to
早
suffer
日出离
the
轮回，
torments of
往
body and
生
mind.
净土。请
I
问师
wish
尊，
for
我这个
liberation
念头
from
算
the
是
rebirth
自
cycle
杀
and be
幻
reborn
境，
in the Pure Land.
不对，不
Grandmaster,
正
is
念
this
吗？
kind of thought
如果我
suicidal,
将来遇上
incorrect,
意
and
外
am I
受重伤
violating the
或得
precept?
了重病，就算
If I
救
were to
活
be
了，也
inflicted
是
with severe
也只是
injury
更加的
or
痛苦的
terminal
活动，
illness,
和
and
连
even
累
if
家
my
人，
life has been safe,
痛
but
不
I
欲
become a
生，非
burden to the
常残
people
忍。
around me and suffer even
若我
more,
选择不
where
接受
life
救
is
治
worse
或
than
安乐
death,
死，
is it
算是
okay to
自杀
reject
犯戒，要
treatments
下
and
三
ask
恶
for
道，而
euthanasia?
不能超生净土
Is it
吗？
considered
我
suicidal,
不敢
violating
自
the
杀，因
precepts
为
and
我知
falling
道
into the
杀
three
佛的
lower
重
realms,
罪，
unable to rise to
但
the
我
Pure
身
Land?
体不好，
I don't
不
dare to
够
commit
体，
suicide because I know that this is
所以
killing a
修
Buddha,
不成
which is creating a
破
heavy
瓦法，
karma. But my body is
或者是
weak
七
and
日
lacks
成就
energy,
法等
so I
高
cannot
难
practice
度的
Boa,
内
opening
爽，
of the apex,
祈求解脱。
attainment
请
in
问
7
师尊
days
有什么
or
别的
any other
简易
inner
法门，
practices to gain
又不
liberation?
犯戒、违
Is
法
there any
违
other
背
method
天
that
意，
is easy and
可以
simple
提
so
前
that I do not
我
violate
命定的
precepts
时
and
期，
go against
让
heaven's
我能
will,
尽早往生
but
西
can
方极
shorten
乐
my
世界呢？
lifespan and can go
修
to the
法
Pure
实
Land
相，
sooner?
祈求本尊帮我改命，
Is
尽
it
快在
okay
10年
to
内来
dedicate
接
the
引
merit
我
of my
去净
practice
土，
to
可
change
行
my
吗？
destiny so that I can die and go to Pure Land within 10
上
years?
师尊在法会说，
There
主
are the
人帮
times
爱
Grandmaster
猫
said that
选择安乐死，是
putting
帮助猫
our
减少
pet
痛楚，
cat
不算杀
to
生。
sleep is
而
helping it
对
alleviate
猫受了
suffering.
这
It
一
is not
生是消
considered
灭，
killing.
那
And
我
for the
在不
cat,
死
it
的
is
时
a
候，
karma
家
eradication.
人帮我选
Wouldn't
择
this
安
be
乐
the
死，
same case if I
既
suffer
减少
greatly
痛
from my
楚，
illness
也不
and
算
my
杀
family
生，
does the
则
same thing to me by
会得
giving
到
me
恶报，
euthanasia?
对我也是
Isn't
消
this
灭吗？
eradicating my karma too?
他是不太想佛了，
So
对不对？
they don't want to continue living.
其实跟大家讲，
Actually,
是师母
let
本
me
身也
tell
是
you,
很痛苦，
Sumo also suffers greatly.
他虽然在痛苦当中，但是他还是为着
Amidst her suffering, she
在
still
染他自己的最后的光，
burn her last piece of
其实
candle.
他也是很辛苦。
Actually, she's amidst great suffering.
目前来讲起来，他的 doctor 问他，
Recently, the doctor
天
asked
24
her,
小时当中，
in
有
24
几个小
hours,
时你能够自主的？
how many hours are you in control of yourself?
有没有4个小时能够自主的？
Is there up to 4 hours that you
可以
can be in
能够
control
自
of
主的
yourself?
有没有4个小时？ 其实师母的这个起他那个病的这个起已经来到第4期，
Actually, her illness is at the last stage, the 4th stage.
接着的师母也很明白，再过不久，他必须要躺在床上，
that
全身僵硬，都不能动。
not a very long time she would be bedridden and unable to move.
睡觉、上厕所
For eating, sleeping,
上厕所都没有办法，
bowel
洗
movements,
澡更没有办法。
or bathing, she would not be able to be
那个
autonomous
时
to
候
do
必须
all
要
of
有
those.
24小时的
So at such time, she would need
有白天的
care
看护
24 hours around the clock, 24
白
hours a
天的
day.
看护看白天，
So the
晚上的看护
caretaker for the daytime and also for the nighttime.
他自己也想到瑞士去，
Also have thought about going to Switzerland, like just what she said here.
但是他回过头，他自己想，
But then she
可
turned
能自己
around
前世有很多的业障，
and thought that perhaps she had some heavy
他这
karma
个
from past lives.
药有用的时候，他会来电；
When the medicine
有
is
时候药失
effective,
效了，根本就是断电。
that she
有
would
电的时候，当然
work,
他会
would
活得像人
be
一样的庄严。
and would look
没
as
有电的时候，
dignified
突然间
as
没电了，
normal, but
连走路都
sometimes
困难。
it's just cut off, like power off, that she would have difficulty even to walk.
接着呢，就只能够躺在床上。
So next would be bedridden.
现在呢，每天晚上都是我在照顾她。
So now I am the one who takes
Every
care
night.
of her every night.
那回去以后呢，就照顾她。
After we get home, I
有时候
would take
她
care
走
of
路不
her.
能走，
Sometimes
要
she
帮
cannot
她
walk.
要牵她的手，
I have to hold
让
her
她坐在这
hand
个好像是说轮椅上面，
or let her
或者一
ride
个
the
小型的
wheelchair
的电动车上面，
or the
让
mobile
她自己
scooter
到房间到哪里。
so she can go to wherever
目
she
前来
wants
讲
to.
还是可以刷牙洗脸，
And she can still brush her
有
teeth
时候她
and
会坐
wash
在
her
椅子上
face by
倒下
herself.
来，我因
And
为倒下来
sometimes
的
she
时
would
候去
topple
去扶她，
when she
我闪
sit
到
on
自
the
己的腰。
chair, and then
前
I
几
would
天
try to
她在
hold
刷牙
her,
的时
and
候，
then I hurt my own back.
突然之间这个身体
A
倾
few
过来，
days ago, as she was
差点
brushing
撞
her
到这个
teeth,
浴室的玻璃
her body was toppling
如果
and
跳下去的
almost
话，她又头
hit
破血。
the glass door
她
of
曾
her
经坐在
bathroom.
马桶上这样子
But I caught
往
her.
前面倾，掉
Otherwise, she
下
would
来，
have
把这边
she
打
would
好
have
几个
bleeded.
洞，
She would
流
have
血。
bled. At one time, she fell from the
前
toilet.
几天她差一点就是撞到那个玻璃，
A few days
我赶
ago,
快
she
还好
almost
我在
hit
旁
the
边，
glass
我就
door.
赶快伸手
But
把她
luckily,
的
I was by
身
her
体给她
side,
扶住，
so I
已经距
held
离那个
her.
浴室的玻璃只是一点点而已。
So it was a short
她的
distance
生命
to
是
the
很脆弱的，
shower door, the glass shower door.
所以药
So
吃
her
下去
life
有时候没有
is
效，
very
不来电，
fragile.
因为她胃里面有东
Sometimes
西把那
her
个药给她肢
medicine
解
is
掉。
not effective because of the food inside her stomach
所以她就没有气力，
that
而且突
acts as
然
an
间会断电，
antidote.
就是突然
Or
之间好好的，
sometimes, all of a sudden,
这个1分
it's
钟
as
前
if
她还正
she's
常，1
lost
分
it.
钟后她就变成不正常。
That a minute before she's normal, and a minute
但是他讲
after
了一句话，
she became
你们
abnormal.
听着，
But she said this,
我
listen
前世一
carefully.
定有业障，
I must have karma from my
现在
past
这个
lives.
病来折磨，
So
是在消除
now
我的业障。
this illness is
等
tormenting
到这
me
个
to
业障
eradicate my
已经
karma.
完全折磨完了，业也消了，
After the karma is
我就不在人间，
eradicated, then I would leave this
他就
human
可以到
world.
净土去了。
Then she can go to the Pure Land.
他是这样子讲的，
That's what she
所
said.
以病呢是在消除你的业障。
So being sick is to eradicate your own karma.
所以这个香港的莲花新郎，他问的这个
So
问
this
题
Dianhua Xinglang from
痛不
Hong
欲
Kong
生，
who asked this,
非常残忍。
that it's
所以
such
佛
so
陀在
much
讲经
pain
的
and
时候，常
suffering
常讲
that
人
he
生是
doesn't
苦，
want to live. That's why the Buddha often states this
尤其是老，
when he's giving discourses that life is suffering, especially old age and
老跟病
sickness.
都是连在一起的。
And they're
老的
together.
时候一定有病。
As you age, you
以
will
前我在爬这个
suffer
彩
from
虹山的时候啊，
illnesses.
看看我的妈妈
In the past, as we climbed the hills of the
怎么走得那
Rainbow
么慢呢？我下去
Temple
跟妈妈讲，
or the Rainbow Mountain,
妈，你怎么走那么慢呢？
I asked my mom, how come you walk so slowly?
你老了你就知道，
She just gazed at me and said, you'll know when you reach my age.
老了就知道，
You would know.
老跟病牵缠在一起。师母也74了，
And Simu is 74
他是
now.
在过着消业障的这个。
So she's living
他
days
自己讲
of karma
就是在
eradication.
做消业障的日子。
She said it herself that she is clearing her
每
karma.
天晚上我要等他睡着，
So every night I have to wait until she
跟他
falls
盖好
asleep.
棉被，
After putting on eye drops on her eyes and putting her to bed, covering with blankets
将来我
before I can go
恐怕
back to
不
my
能
own
够
room.
完全看护他，必须要
But in the future, I may not be able to take care of her all by my own,
24
all by
小时
myself.
看护，
I would need to hire someone
这样子轮班，这样子看。
for around the clock, 24 hours a day,
他也想
day
过
and
去
night,
并 不
to
是
take
没
care
有
of
想，
her.
只
She
是他
has
想回
thought
来。
of going to
这个
Switzerland,
痛苦啊，是在消我自己过去式的
she
业障。
turned around and
等
thought
到
that
消
this
业障没
suffering
有
of illness is to
这个病苦就
eradicate
没有，
karma from my past life.
那时候
So
就可以到佛国净土。
When the karma is eradicated, then the
这句
suffering
话
will
也
be
是我
gone,
跟
then
香
I
港
can go to the
莲
Pure
花
Land.
新兰讲的。
So this is
等你的
what I like
病
to share
没
with
有，
Dianhua Xinlan from Hong Kong.
你就可以往生到佛国净土。
Once your suffering
如果
due
你
to
在
illness is gone, then you can be reborn in Pure Land.
你还讲说，祈求回修法回向，祈求本尊
And you
帮我
said
转命，尽快在10年
you
内
do Dharma
来接引我
practice
去净
and
土可
ask
行吗？
your yidam to change your destiny
10
and
年
so
内，
that she can go to the Pure Land in 10
师
years.
母都没有想10年
10
内，
years. Simu didn't even
我自
think
己也
about
没有
10
想10
years.
年内啊。
I don't even
你
think
还
about
会
10
可以
years.
活得比我更久。
You want to live longer than I do.
当然可行，
Of course you can.
你回向也可以。
It's fine to dedicate merits too. Human life is full of suffering, especially the suffering due to illness. Every time I pick something up, it would make sound. Maybe I should just hold it in my hand because it rubs against the clothes. If you think that your life is too complicated, think about Macron, from the French president. It's even more complicated for him. He's 43, and his eldest son is 46, and his second son is 44, and his wife is 68. So he's the youngest in the family. So do you think that's complicated? It's quite complicated. So French president is 43, and his eldest son is 46, second son 44, and his wife is 68. So yours is not complicated compared to that. Sometimes maybe you can change it into the one like at the Rainbow Temple. Then you would not have this problem. I would not have this problem. Otherwise, I have to twist its head every time. Dad asked Mom, how come you're so kind to the children, so caring and gentle, and you're only so violent to me? Well, because we are all her children except you. So Xiaoming exercised on the U-bike. So all of a sudden he felt like eating some ice cream. So as he's riding the bike, he's licking on the ice cream. That sounds so pleasurable. And all of a sudden he felt something on his hand, and he thought it's the ice cream dripping. And so he licked it, and it turned out to be bird's poo. And he thought it's ice cream. Oh, no. This 3-year pandemic, the desire decreases. In 2019, we want to travel abroad. In 2020, we just want to travel domestically. And in 2021, we thought that we can just go out of town. And in March 2022, we thought that we just want to look around outside the community. And in April, we just want to be able to go down. And today, we just look out of the window. That's all we could do. This must be a joke about mainland China. That is true. If they continue to lock down, then people would be depressed. The daughter told Dad that I want to take a karate lesson. And Dad said, girls should not learn karate. Or judo. And the daughter asked, why not? And Dad replied, because girls with this martial arts, nobody would dare to marry you. But the girl answered, by having this martial art, if I like a boy, how dare he not marry me? It makes sense. The woman says, dear, let's break up. Why? Because we are not suitable for each other. How come? Because my zodiac is monkey and you're a dragon. So together, this is play of word, we'll have sore throat. Monkey dragon is like a throat. Sounds like throat in Chinese. In a classroom, Xiaoming leaned his head on the chair and not listening to the class and falling asleep. The teacher asked, are you sick? He did not even lift his head and said, yes, I have a headache. And the teacher said, if you have a doctor's letter and show it to me, then you can go home and rest. And Xiaoming said, well, I have headache because the doctor did not want to give that letter. Oh, we're not talking about the Vajra Sutra today. What time is it now? 10 p.m. Time flies. And we have book signing today. So let me just talk a little bit about it. Everybody keep pressuring me. What else are you going to talk about after the Vajra Sutra? Tell us soon. So this is what I'm thinking. Some people made recommendations. A disciple from Taiwan recommended Grandmaster to talk about Avatamsaka Sutra, which is a dialogue between Sakyamuni Buddha and Ananda. But that's very long. Maybe I would die before I finish talking about it. No, it's not Avatamsaka. And Master Lian Wang said, talk about Vimalakirti Sutra. And I was thinking that Guru Tsongkhapa specified that all disciples should study the 5 major treatises. And what are they? They're the Abhisamaya Alankara, and then Abhidharma Kosa, Pramana Vartika Karika, and Madhyamaka Vatara, and also Vinaya. So Vinaya, Pramana Vartika Kara, and Madhyamaka Vatara, and Abhisamaya Alankara, and Abhidharma Kosa. So these are the 5 major treatises specified by Guru Tsongkhapa. Is it a good idea to talk about this, one of them? And then, as I was thinking about this, an elder showed up in the sky. And when I took a look, that was Siddha. And that's Vimalakirti. And he told me, Grandmaster Lu, why don't you expound the Vimalakirti Sutra? This sutra the key figure in the sutra is Vimalakirti, a great bodhisattva. He emanated in the physical. He had the physical emanation in India and helped Sakyamuni Buddha to deliver sentient beings. A great laity, a great bodhisattva. He came from the Miaoxi realm, the marvelous joy realm in the east, which is the pure land of Akshobha Buddha, the Vimalakirti, great bodhisattva, laity. What happened then was that Vimalakirti was a lay practitioner, so he had a wife, which is the goddess who sprinkled flowers, a very famous one. And one time she was sick, so Sakyamuni Buddha asked all his disciples to, Vimalakirti was sick, and Sakyamuni Buddha asked his disciples to visit him. But none of them dared to go. So Sakyamuni Buddha asked an arhat, several of the arhats, to go, like Sariputra, Maudgalana, Mahakashyapa, to visit Vimalakirti because he was sick, right? So you need to show their care. But nobody dared to go. And Sakyamuni Buddha asked Maitreya Bodhisattva and didn't dare to go either. And Shangyuan youth or Tongzi also did not dare to go. So finally, the Buddha asked Manjusri Bodhisattva to go. And then Manjusri, the dialogue between Manjusri Bodhisattva and Vimalakirti was recorded in the sutra. Only Manjusri Bodhisattva is at par with Vimalakirti, and the other arhats were not qualified. So the sutra is wonderful. So Vimalakirti asked me to expound on this sutra, Vimalakirti Sutra. It's quite remarkable. There are two key points in the sutra, in my opinion. One, only when the mind is serene that the ground is serene. And the second key point is the non-dual Dharma gate. The sutra is talking about the non-dual Dharma gate. The key is on the mind. Only when the mind is purified, then anywhere is pure. So, if your mind is pure, this is a spiritual center. This is a pure land. Once your mind is purified, everything is pure. So only when the mind is pure that the Buddha land is pure. So the key is on the mind. And second, it's the one and only Dharma gate. Most arhats think that the world is dirty, is yucky, and the physical bodies should be abandoned right away. The physical bodies are filthy, but Vimalakirti thinks that's not non-dual. You are still discriminating. What is dirty? What is clean? If you still think some things are clean, some things are dirty, then you're not there yet. You still have discriminating mind. What is a good person? What is a bad person? Then you're still having a discriminating mind. So Vimalakirti told us in the sutra, it's non-duality. You cannot have any discrimination. So the sutra embodies a lot of things. There are a total of 14 chapters. And of course the first chapter is the causes and conditions. Why Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about the sutra. So Vimalakirti Sutra is spoken by the Buddha, or the Liberation Sutra spoken by the Buddha. So in this Dharma gate, it teaches you not to view this world as dirty. Once your mind is pure, then the human world is a pure land. But before your mind is purified, you don't know that the human world is a pure land. And even the arhats think so. So there's a lot of philosophy in this, a lot of literature, and a lot of ideology. So as Buddhists, we should really know Vimalakirti Sutra.
我们这个等我准备好了，就开始讲维摩诘经。
So once I'm ready, I will talk about this Vimalakirti Sutra.
那么维摩诘也有人大家讲说，维摩诘居士一般的传说是，他是
So the lady Vimalakirti, most people say is an emanation of Jingli Tathagata.
他是佛本身转化。
So he's an emanation of a Buddha in the Saha world, as a great Bodhisattva.
所以这本经典呢，曾经在印度很轰动的。
So the sutra was very sensational in India
中国的中土
and also in China.
在佛教界大家都知道
It was very popular. Everybody would know this Vimalakirti Sutra in the Buddhist world.
也是属于大圣大圣的经典，讲了这不二法。
It is a Mahayana Sutra, non-dual Dharma gate. Only when the mind is pure, therefore the Pure Land is pure. When I'm ready, I will talk about this sutra.
那里面也有很多的讲的神通变化，很多的神通变化。
It also talks about a lot of supernatural transcendental power.
是讲法会因缘会。
Chapter 1 is talking about the settings and the causes and conditions of the Dharma teaching.
讲这个
And then from chapter 2 to 12, each has its own content, giving Dharma teaching. And then in chapter 13 and 14, they primarily talk about merit, the merit of the sutra. Chapter 13 and 14.
虽然只有14品，但是每一品的内涵非常的。
Although there are only 14 chapters, but there are a lot of content in each of the chapters. Perhaps I will need to talk about it for a very long time.
希望能够讲的这个完美，好。
So I hope that I would be able to expound it perfectly.
非
That's
常
all
感谢
today.
法王圣尊莲生活佛。